All right, good morning and welcome to Flow Sessions. Hopefully I have better audio. In the last few days, I went on GPT and got some updates that should help this audio as far as gain goes and clarity, because I noticed my streams were way quieter than other creators that I have typically listened to. Anyway, today we have a few updates. Let's take a look at BTC first. Right, so BTC is having a bounce off of these event things off of this. There we go. I don't know why it's there. So we did have a bounce from 4-hour oversold, 3 drives down once again. And if we look at the hourly, we did have some divergence. So I was looking for an hourly higher low in here, and we didn't get it. Instead, we drove down again. Unfortunately, this has taken my level 11 demoted down to level 10 now. We were at like $1,400 yesterday. Now we're at 1281. But we're looking for a bounce on Bitcoin into potentially this order block, or we take this liquidity up here, and then we look for possible short setups. We're actually finally over 4-hour EMA 12. We are finally over the 200 on the 4-hour, so there is room for a higher low. This is just an idea. It's not really meaningful unless we have price action to support it once we get up to those levels, but it is an idea for a swing short if the bulls are unable to set another weekly, would be a weekly higher low or daily higher low, and we get a lower high and roll back over towards, maybe low hundreds. But I am not trying to predict exactly what happens. I'm just letting the price show me what happens, and then I'm just going to play based on risk to reward and based on what is happening directly in front of me. So I didn't take any Bitcoin trades. I have a trade over on AVNT that was up like $60 this morning and then stopped out break even, made another attempt, and now we're on the third attempt here for AVNT. So let's take a look at that. AVNT, I was watching this potential of an 8-hour equilibrium shaping up. So we had this happen on the initial move. It actually happened after the listing. We had an EQ break, EQ break, EQ break would bring you up here. So I am playing that idea, and on the hourly, we are trying to bounce instead of an hourly higher low off of 1-hour EMA 12. 5-minute gets a little less clear here on the 5-minute. It depends on if Bitcoin's gonna V-shape here. This would help this name do the same. But for now, we have a position, just not seeing follow through on all these 5-minute higher lows. I mean, this is what I called this morning, this nice cascading move up, which really was nice. So all of this price action is indicative kind of this sideways chop. There's not too much excitement on the momentum, kind of just flat. But we do have a surf score 95. I think this is a name that's one of the top watches. Because of how we're reacting right now on this 5-minute, I'm actually going to pull half of the position live in very minimal profit, but actually just gonna move the stop up a little bit. See if we can get. All right, so stops are break even. I wouldn't be this is probably gonna get stopped out, and then we can try on it again. But like I said, we're looking for an hourly higher low here, so keep majority stop around 20234, and this just shows compression too. So looking to catch that larger move as a potential swing. We are an AVNT. Why did I take that away? And SUI, we either just had a break of structure retest where this is a great short, or we V-shape and continue on our way. So this is the one that took all the level 11 profits. It was mostly around here. We zoinked it right around here. So we're looking for these lows to hold. After this hourly, we were in here looking for the hourly higher low. Did not get follow through, broke down, retest, retest, and I think it took it here. So we're hoping this level of support would hold, but instead we had the 3 drives down. Some other names did not get that, like SEI, I was looking at, had basically 3 higher highs. So I longed this morning on Bybit for a weekly EQ. It's not part of the challenge, but looking at the weekly, this potentially being the bottom of a weekly EQ, I longed here with the swing mindset with my stop down at 26.92, something like this. And in that case, it could still be a bull flag, but if this plays out for this weekly EQ, we'd have a nice position there. Gonna keep an eye on that into the monthly close because we have all these upper wicks. So as far as confidence goes in that one, I don't know. It's not. I guess it's not overly confident because you are in a monthly downtrend, but you also have a weekly EQ since June, so there will be volatility. So if I get the volatility up, I will benefit nicely with like a 4 or 5R. And if we don't, it's not too big of a loss there. So that's a swing mentality. I'm not even monitoring that too much. I have alert set. And AV&T is the one that we're playing today. Looking to at least get maybe back up to a level 11 on this one. So right now we're at $26 profit. The account itself is 113. So we would need to get like another $300 out of this for it to stick. But it's possible we're in an 8-hour EQ and this breaks bull in the next 2 days, and we end up here, and then we crush that level. There's nothing in the chart saying anything bearish about this name right now. It's kind of a hot new play along with Aster, so hopefully we can just continue grinding up like we've done the past 2 times. The 3 times be the third time's the charm. Get up here, get our profit, and get out. Maybe leave a small runner, but really want to get out. As far as I have a bio long here for this weekly EQ as well off of EMA 12. So this would be healthy consolidation, healthy pullback off this nice big move off the bottom. I don't take into consideration this. A lot of times this listing happens, there's not a lot of support develops on the way, or so there's not. This thing can easily V-shape as well as if it sat and went down and up and had all this price action and levels to play off of. I would be a little I'd be a little more cautious about playing this for a swing. But since there's such low little price history, and since we have an EQ here on the weekly, I think it's worth a shot. So you can see that one too in live trades. It's up a whole $17, but we're looking for a move up to like 55, which would, let's actually add that in the, so we mentally know, let's add it inside the calculator. He has like $2,300 if that played out. So we're seeing if that can play out as well. AVNT, USDC is literally whatever. It's the stop is $10. I want that to be hidden, but I can't hide it. But that one had the daily lower low, no follow through. But then the next candle closed underneath that one, so it's pretty choppy. But I believe if you look at it, let me bring it up here. IMX is also a top watch for a 5-minute oversold today. We will get to that next. Let's look at UC. Yeah, we were looking for weekly higher low here on USD and our stops here. So we either get it and things continue as they have, or we head them back down to here. Then you have a head and shoulders on the table, and then you're less interested. But until that happens, it's just following what it's been doing all summer. So I think the risk reward here is worth a shot for the $10. Yes, IMX looking for an hourly higher low. May have front ran. I have limit entries set around here with stop down here for something like for a move back up to test these highs really. This one had some strength. The others didn't before the dump, and then it pulled back a good amount, but it did pull back into support. Yeah, see that 3 days nice too there for this wick. So we will see what happens with IMX, but overall it's coming off a bottom, and it's been a weak name forever. So you're looking maybe to get up here, which is still, you know, a 50% move, but that's about all you're really looking to get on. I really want to focus more on trending names, so let me get this one out of here. USDC, Aster is kind of disappointing. Since I clicked record here, we are getting no follow through again. This 5 minute is not Aster, AVNT. The 5 minute is, like I said, a little choppy, and not this move that we were looking for, like this morning, like this big, like this here is what we're looking to catch. But this is more of this down. It's more of, looks more like this. So I think we'll be more sideways, but we have to keep in mind this 8-hour EQ that we're looking at, especially in 2 hours, to see how the 8-hour candle. If the 8-hour candle closes down here, I'm not going to be as interested to play it and get an entry somewhere in here. But if it closes up here, then I will be looking to get an entry somewhere in here. It looks like we just stopped out on that name. Let me take a look here. Yeah, for $2.75 loss after that one was up a little bit when we started the stream, but no big deal. Like I said, it's got having higher highs without follow through. Not the cleanest rider yet. It's one of those names that's also really volatile, so you look for a big flush and buy the flush if it makes sense with the higher time frames. But got that surf score 89. It's a cranking name. I just need to take profit on it quicker. I could have taken a profit a few times on it, and you know, collectively been 100, $200 on it. So it's all good. We're gonna let that shape up, see what kind of action we can get out of it. QQQ we can take a look at too. Is all right. QQQ is having this price action. Yesterday we were looking at 382 to hold, did not hold. 15-minute oversold, back burner, did nothing, just like it did nothing here, and that was kind of a clue. NQ hit that first and didn't do anything. Now we have hourly. We had a bounce this morning. If this leads over to new lows a day, I would anticipate a lot of the market rolling over. But it doesn't happen until it happens. Right now, price action shows no real trends, just sideways after this move down, which is a trend day yesterday, a bearish trend day. And just thinking how you would have caught that, I guess you would see that this was holding as 15-minute EMA support the way up, and then once it flipped, it was really capped by this EMA before some acceleration. So you would maybe, once this shifted color here, once you broke these lows, say, you know what? Now we're 3.5 hours into the trading day. We have not broken these EMAs. This is looking like a trend day, and then you get this big move down. So one that I caught a super home run on was LAC. So I've been selling this one like crazy. Just sold some more this morning, but this is a monthly EQ that I started buying in here, January, February, for the monthly EQ break, based on log chart showing just this pattern since 2012. And I'm like, if this is going to continue this pattern, this is where it would go. And if it's not going to continue the pattern, then I'm wrong, and you stop that down here, no harm, no foul. But looks like I was right here. We did break out. We got the monthly EMA 12 break for the first time in 2 years. And now we're just watching the hourly. It's funny, my alarms went off like crazy yesterday. And my watch was buzzing, all this stuff. I went to the screen and I was up, you know, a few $1,000s in that position. I was like, woo, nice to get a little win sometimes, you know, when you haven't had any decent wins like that in a few weeks. So we got that one going. I have some leap calls on it that are like $3 calls that are 2027 dated. So I'm looking to hold those as a swing. There's new news around this with Trump wanting to get involved. Basically, if this stays above $3 in the next 2 years, I can profit from this swing position. I only have a few actual shares left, but we could get up here toward, you know, if we get like a monthly stair step after this big move on lots of volume, and you know, we don't give it back like we did here, we actually get some sustained moved up here. That'll be awesome for the swing. QQQ, more of the same. ETH is looking way more like a bear flag than Bitcoin is here, but we just have a tower bottom, V-shape back up. You know, if we mess around and float around here, it becomes less clear, but could get a big move up, surprise everyone. Could just bear flag up the 4-hour trend, and 4-hour EMA 12 is the first line in the sand for anything changing, because it kind of got a little ugly up here. Why do I have these event markers on here? Just save the template to make sure that we don't have those anymore. I mean, I think ETH could go under $4,000 and be perfectly healthy. You just don't want to see it down there too long. You know, you don't want to see like this. You want to see a retest of 4,000 possibly. We do have a weekly down where we've had no monthly consolidation on this move up since 1395. You know, so it's not surprising at all. It's just a matter of how large the pullback is, and if we get a pullback to like 2600, not as clear into the end of the year. You know, we tested all-time highs. I'd prefer this to be a weekly bull flag for my setups, but we need that to happen first. So we're waiting for triggers to show us which alert's going to go off first, and that will give us a clue on how all other trades are going. And that's a morning update. I will check in later in the afternoon, but so far basically flat on the day after taking a few, not cuts, just break-even stops on AVENT. But I am looking for an entry there. I just don't want to overdo it, so maybe I'll start scaling in with a clear stop under the 8-hour as we go into the 8-hour close and see how that candle's shaping up. Have a good one.